Ferrari has been working very hard behind the scenes, and what they are doing right now might change the course of the 2025 Formula One season. The team has been quietly developing and testing a new set of upgrades for the SF25, and the results are finally starting to show. After months of preparation and trial and error, Ferrari's performance in Bahrain gave fans and experts something new to talk about. The SF25 is finally waking up. The Bahrain Grand Prix revealed what could be the first real signs that Ferrari has made serious progress, and the upcoming Saudi Arabian Grand Prix in Jeddah could be the tipping point that changes everything for the team. The big development came from Ferrari's new floor upgrade. According to sources from Maranello, this upgrade alone is estimated to be worth at least 1/10 of a second per lap. In Formula One, where every tenth counts, this is a significant step forward. In technical terms, it adds about 5 points of downforce. While that number might not sound huge, it can be the difference between finishing fifth and being on the podium. In a season as close as 2025, this upgrade could make all the difference. But it wasn't just the new floor that Ferrari introduced. The team also brought in some small but important upgrades that didn't make the headlines. There was a redesign of the rear brake ducts, a change to the exhaust system, and a subtle tweak to the rear wing. These changes might seem minor, but when added together, they build a stronger, more efficient SF25. And all of these upgrades are fully within the FIA's regulations, making them not only effective, but also completely legal and under the radar. The effect of these upgrades was already visible in Bahrain. Charles Leclerc's pace on the medium tyres stood out. He was consistently faster than McLaren's Oscar Piastri by more than 1.5 tenths. That kind of pace means Ferrari is not just catching up, they are starting to challenge the top teams. And Bahrain is only the beginning. The real test will be Jeddah, a track that puts heavy focus on mechanical grip and medium-speed aerodynamic balance. If Ferrari can carry over the pace from Bahrain to Saudi Arabia, they might not only aim for podium finishes, they could even fight for race wins. Another reason for the new optimism inside Ferrari is Lewis Hamilton. After a difficult start to his Ferrari career, Hamilton seems to be finding his rhythm with the SF25. His performance in Bahrain, where he started from 9th on the grid and finished 5th, was a strong signal that he is beginning to understand how the Ferrari behaves, and more importantly, he is learning how to drive it fast. Hamilton himself admitted that the change from Mercedes to Ferrari required a completely different driving style. After so many years with one car and one team, switching to something new is not easy, especially at this level. He told Sky Sports that he is slowly figuring it out, and that he's getting better at understanding the balance of the car. This balance is not just about turning the steering wheel or pressing the brake pedal, it's about knowing exactly how the car reacts in every part of the lap. For a driver like Hamilton, who relies on instinct as much as skill, this process is both mental and physical. One specific change Hamilton made was switching from carbon industry brakes to Brembo brakes. On the surface, this is just a hardware change, but in reality it goes much deeper. Braking in Formula One is about feel. It's about applying the right pressure at the right moment and then releasing it at just the right time. This feeling becomes part of a driver's muscle memory. By changing the brakes, Hamilton had to relearn this entire process. He admitted that he was doing things the hard way, but that he finally feels like he understands what the car needs. If he can apply this understanding in Jeddah, his performance could take another big step forward. And it's not just words. Hamilton backed it up with results in Bahrain. He made 2 key overtakes that stood out. One was on Yuki Tsunoda, and the other was on Max Verstappen. These moves showed that Hamilton still has his famous racecraft and that he can manage his tires and pace better than almost anyone else. It also showed that Ferrari now has a car that allows its drivers to fight. Charles Leclerc also delivered a strong performance in Bahrain. He started in 3rd but finished in 4th, yet his race pace told a more important story. During his stint on medium tires, Leclerc was fast, consistent and calm. The car looked more balanced than before, and he had fewer struggles managing the rear tires. This shows that the SF25 is becoming more predictable and easier to drive, which is a big change from earlier races. When a car is easier to drive, at the limit, drivers can push harder for longer without making mistakes. Fred Vasseur, the team principal of Ferrari, praised Hamilton's effort and mindset. He reminded everyone that it's not possible to replace 12 years of experience with a new team in just a few weeks. But he also pointed out that Hamilton is already doing everything he can to adapt, and that Ferrari is working just as hard to adapt the car to him. It's a two-way street, and this cooperation might be Ferrari's biggest strength. Vasseur also highlighted how small mistakes in today's F1 can lead to big consequences. A few years ago, being 4 or 5 tenths behind, your teammate might only cost you 1 or 2 places on the grid. But now that same gap can drop you 6 or 7 positions. The midfield is extremely tight, and every detail counts. That's why Ferrari is focusing not just on pure performance, but also on consistency and predictability. Even though Ferrari knows they are still behind McLaren and sometimes Red Bull, they also understand that they're no longer in a position where the car is fundamentally broken. The base of the SF25 is solid. It just needs the right upgrades and adjustments to reach its full potential. And with more upgrades planned for Jeddah, Imola and Barcelona, the team is clearly building momentum. In Jeddah, the track itself will provide the next big test. It's smoother and faster than Bahrain, with long straights and medium-speed corners that demand strong aerodynamic balance. This track will expose any weaknesses in the car, especially in terms of stability and tyre wear. If Ferrari performs well here, it will confirm that the Bahrain improvements were not a one-time success, but part of a bigger transformation. Behind the scenes, the team's lead aerodynamicist, David Sanchez-Loixer, has been pushing an aggressive development plan. The focus in the short term is to refine the rear aerodynamics, improve cooling systems, and reduce drag. These changes are all aimed at helping the car run faster without burning out the tires. But the long-term goal is much bigger: to deliver a full aero upgrade package by the Miami Grand Prix that could take the SF25 to a new level. A big part of this progress is coming from the growing chemistry between Leclerc and Hamilton. While the two drivers have different personalities and driving styles, they respect each other and are working together well. This is different from some past Ferrari driver pairings, which were known more for internal competition than collaboration. Hamilton brings a lot of experience and also a fresh way of looking at problems, and his feedback is already being used by the engineers. After the Bahrain race, Hamilton gave very detailed input during the debriefs. He talked about pedal mapping, how the car reacts during gear shifts, and even how the steering feels in different corners. These are all areas where Leclerc already had experience, but Hamilton's perspective gave the team a new way to analyze these issues. Combining both drivers' inputs is giving Ferrari a much bigger data pool to work with. This helps the engineers better understand the SF25's weak points and how to fix them. There's also been a cultural shift inside the Ferrari garage. Mechanics and support staff have noticed a higher level of focus and preparation. One mechanic even said that Hamilton brings a standard, not just for how fast the car should be, but also for how ready the team needs to be before the race. Everything is more organized, more serious, and more efficient. This change in energy is spreading throughout the team, and it's helping them get better, faster. What's happening at Ferrari right now isn't just about a few upgrades or a couple of good results. It's about something much bigger. It's about momentum. It's about a team that is finally moving in one direction, forward. There's been a change in the way Ferrari handles communication, development, and strategy. Drivers are giving clear messages, the engineers are responding quickly, and the results are starting to show on the track. Even the mood in the paddock has changed. There's a new sense of confidence